Welcome to another episode of Lifelong Learner. This is the Out of Class edition with Ben, Janesh, and Matt. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lifelong Learner. How are we doing this morning, fellas?
Really good, really good. I'm down in sunny Melbourne and 2 degrees out there when I was doing my walk and talk this morning.
You look quite rugged up, mate.
I've just come in and I'm still rugged up. I've remained rugged up because we've got a gardener due to arrive at the house and
Gardener.
to venture out and give him directions.
Oh, no Logan as your gardener. I thought you had that contracted out, mate.
A great man. He's off working some other bloody crowd, and he's not around.
Just a lot more fulfilling work, you know. People are just moving to things that worthy jobs, right? So obviously your gardens weren't worthy of his time, mate.
No.
Right, he learnt there. That was the stomping ground, Janesh. He honed his skills, and now he's moved on to other people's gardens. And Benny's left rugging himself up and going out and gardening. Are you the gardener? Is that what this is? You just have compartmentalized it. You have to now
I actually have a gardener.
Okay.
He's due to start as a newbie because we're going to be away for a few weeks, months. And so we've organised a gardener to come in and do the gardening.
Very cool.
But Matty, enough about me. I'm curious. You're out,
where are you?
You're out camping, 4-wheel driving. You're bushman, but that doesn't look very bush.
No, we're not in the. Have I told you where I am? I'm in Lombok. I'm in Indonesia now.
You have gone to Indo.
Yeah.
Weren't you just there? Now you've just gone again.
We were here 2 months ago.
Yep.
And then we went to Exmouth. So we drove up from Perth all the way up to Exmouth. We did that. And then Kat and I have just been chatting so much about this place. So we ended up turning around and coming back. And so the car's in Perth and we're back over here.
What's happening with the car?
Oh, it's the same. It's 6 a.m. here.
No. What's happening with the car? Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, we met a couple of people in not Exmouth, in somewhere south, and they're legends, and they've lent us their garage, and we've just garaged our car at their place. Road to Adventure is the name of their company, and they're the ones with the hostel on wheels. They've got 2 buses. They take 8 people on each bus, and each bus tows a 4-wheel drive, and they just do epic trips around Australia. So yeah, that's a little shout out for them, Road to Adventure. Legends, they've let us just put our bus in their bus station, and it was 20 minutes to the airport from there. And now we're here. We're back in Lombok. So, well, I'm in Lombok, Kat's in Bali, in Ubud, and here we are.
That's really good. Really good. Beautiful weather.
Nice.
Amazing. 31 degrees outside, 31 degrees in the water. It's a really amazing energy out there. It's lifting. There's people arriving. There's the backpacker in the street doing this, holding their backpack, looking for somebody to help them. There's scooters and bikes and dogs. And yeah, it's a really cool. I've been here 4 days and the energy's changed. Everyone's so happy, smiles. People are stopping to talk to you because they've just had nothing. They've been living on farms, no white people to speak to. It's just a really exciting time.
Do you feel the difference from 2 months ago when you were there?
Yeah. 100, maybe 200% different in people and attitude. Just every single person is just so excited for what's coming, and a lot of hope now. Whereas before it was almost this hope, but almost like, is this a false sense of hope kind of vibe? Like we've been doing this for so long. And it was Ramadan as well. So it's always very quiet during that period. But yeah, really, really exciting. I've taken up a new sport.
Is that falling? Mate? Is that your new sport, falling?
I don't know if you can see. My wrists, I need a chiro. Well, this wrist won't even bend at the moment. Look at this. Oh, I am skating in a bowl. It's a young man's game. Yeah. You fall into concrete. It's not fun. But when you don't fall, you glide and just effortlessly fly around these bowls. It's amazing, but it's hard on the body. So I'm going to I have to have a couple of days off. These kids just fall, bounce, get up and keep going. And
you're trying to keep up with them.
I'm trying to keep up with them. I'm actually ahead of them at the moment. But now I'm hiding in my hotel room for multiple days while I heal. They're like, "Oh, you're crazy. So brave." I'm like, yeah. And then I get into the hotel room, I'm like,
yeah.
Cuts all over the body from surfing. Do you know what they use here? It tripped me out. It's next to my bedside table. It's called placenta cream.
Okay.
Placenta cream.
What is
10%. It's meant to be antibiotic. 10% placenta.
Whose placenta?
Well, I don't know. It's not my placenta. Weird, huh? You're a doctor? Surely.
Sure? Like, go and grab it. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Bio
Hazardous.
Placenta.
Oh, placenta extract.
Bioplacenton.
Wow. Oh, it's got Ben, look at the milligrams on each one. It's quite fascinating that is it working, Matt? You know what? I don't judge. Is it working?
It works.
It works.
It's amazing.
Does it really?
Yeah. So one of the big issues with cuts here is that they just get infected because there's so much dirt in the air, and it creates like a false skin over the top of the wound, and then it dries out and cracks off, and then you just put another layer on. And I think it has it's antibiotic. It's definitely been helping for sure. But when I saw it, I said, "Oh, do you have any antibiotics?" He goes, "Yeah, I think it's a good idea for you to have them." And he handed me this. I'm like, "No, we're not understanding each other, man. This can't be right."
How long are you in Lombok for, Matty?
We're here for 2 months, and you and I are chatting about whether we're going to cross paths. Yeah, because Kat's parents been calling, and obviously she's been in Lombok now twice, overseas trip twice, and she hasn't been home.
Oh, yep.
So she's feeling the heat. Yeah, she's feeling the heat. So her parents are thinking of flying. Her dad said he'd fly over, but we won't be back in Melbourne. So I was saying, why don't you just go there? He's happy to pay for her to fly out. So she might leave in September and go to America.
Oh, yep.
In which case I might extend and stay in Lombok and link up with you.
Yeah. Because we're in Nusa Dua at the end of August, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're meant to leave on the 24th of August. So I would just extend for another month and then go home maybe.
Yeah. Something
to chat about for sure.
Yeah, nice. And
Ben, why are you coming home, Matty? Why aren't you just staying there and getting your resort up and running? And
that's a good point. Mainly because of the van that we've got in Perth. And we just planned this trip for like 2 years. And so there is some stuff we still want to see. So the plan is go back in 2 months, try and get some real big wins, some infrastructure stuff set up and some agreements laid down, then go back, finish off the trip, get back in end of September, stay home October, November, December, we're going back to America. And they've got a wedding. You've met Pablo. I've got a wedding in Colombia, then come back, work in January, leave in February. That's the plan. I've got to sell my ute as well.
Mate, you've held on to that thing for way too long.
I don't think so, Janesh. I think it's going to make some money.
Mate, with the fuel prices, mate, you're going to pay people to take that thing off you.
That's true.
I'm
going to have to sell it with a full tank.
Speaking of fuel prices, inflation, interest rates going up
Again, as well.
Yeah, like I'm a little bit removed from it because we just don't.
There's a war, mate.
We really have the mortgage. We probably earn enough that thinking about the price of food isn't a big challenge for us. And it's interesting how we kind of adapt. Like $2 for fuel now. Well, it's just $2 for fuel.
Yeah. It was like $2.40 the other day that I pumped for, and I was like, "Well, when did it get to $2.40?"
Yeah, but I saw on the news the other day, average home somehow $611,000. The average mortgage $611,000. With the increase in interest rates that we've just had, people are paying an extra $450 a month.
Wow,
It's a decent, like
$20,000 a year.
Decent extra bit of coin.
that's actually quite a bit.
Yeah.
$20,000 a year over 10 years. That's $200,000.
$400 a month. $400 a month. Not
Oh, $400 a month.
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
Still
a lot.
Like, there's a few houses in that price, but there's a lot of houses where people are borrowing $1 million.
Yep.
It's a lot of extra money. It's
Yeah.
$200 a week extra you've got to come up with.
Or like change your habits, right? You're changing. Will they change habits quick enough?
Yeah, but you get that's only 1.5% increase over this last year.
Yep.
What happens if we have another 1.5%? Because current interest rates are now at the Reserve Bank rate or whatever that's called. I can't remember what it's called.
Cash rate.
All your first-term buyers go under. They lose their house.
Well, it's at 1.75. Like I remember borrowing at 17% when I first graduated. So what happens if it goes to 3%?
Yeah, they're done.
5%. So what are we thinking about that? Like I'm curious, you guys. Is it affecting you guys? Are you seeing a change in people's behaviour yet?
I'm moving to Indonesia.
Which, by the way, I hear is looking at bringing in a nomad visa.
Yeah.
It hasn't been brought in yet, but there's conversation around that.
Interesting. I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, so you can live in Indonesia for 5 years tax-free. Tax-free. As long as you earn your money outside of the country, it's tax-free in the country.
So, but are you going to get taxed in the other country?
Well, you can obviously set up a bank account, I imagine, in Indonesia, in Bali, and your money goes into that bank account.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that actually works. I don't know whether it's a tax haven.
No, I don't think so.
What's tax evasion?
I know that my business gets taxed 20%. It's still better to run a business over here than it is. Like, tax is less here than it is over there.
I guess, though, when you look at it, you don't have any of the road infrastructure, rubbish bin, blah, 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 although you pay for bins in Australia. But there's no hospital system. There's no healthcare system. Over
Yeah, no public health system, yeah.
That's it. And so your 20% goes, what is it, 33%? Oh, I don't know what it is. So, yeah. But I'm all right with that. I'll just use my placenta cream, mate.
But I've just Googled that in the background, and
what have you come up with?
Apparently, it's got uranium in it. That's why you can't buy it in Australia.
Oh, shit.
That's why that glow that you're getting, mate, it's that green glow. That's what the uranium's coming from.
Okay. I assume uranium isn't good for a human being.
It's got the pharmacology is calcium alginate in bioplacenton was derived from marine algae. So I think it's like plankton. I don't think it's actually placenton. Derived from marine algae, where calcium alginate toolti come into contact with the wound. The sodium ions from the wound exudate will get exchanged with calcium ions from the calcium alginate and form a hydrophilic gel at the wound surface, which will create a moist environment for wounds that will lead to the re-epithelialization and optimal granulation tissue formation.
Whoa, there's a lot of Asians in. That sounded like poetry.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It sounds like it's good for burns or something.
It's good for all those sorts of things. But I don't think it actually comes from the placenta. It actually comes from algae.
Okay.
The placenta thing sounds way better.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Well, my mind went, there's lots of babies. They grind up the placenta and they stick it in tubes and it's good. Okay, algae. Well, look at them go.
Yeah.
See? Oh, I like it.
Mate, why are you getting cut when you're surfing? How does that work?
Oh, once you get to a certain level, and I follow the boys, I just go wherever they go. They go to more adventurous spots where you have to climb out on rocks and leap out into the ocean. And I actually went to this amazing spot, it's a little secret spot, and I came in about half an hour later than everyone else, so I didn't see how they got out of the water, and I just came back and climbed onto the rock shelf and then tried to climb up, and a wave came, and so I quickly pushed off the rock to get away from the wave, and there was like a
sharp stuff under the water.
One of those shells, like a mollusk, and it just a cut maybe as long as my finger
on your foot,
on the heel, on the sole of my foot.
Yeah.
I was fine when it happened. It's now day 3, and it's so painful.
Yeah.
Just walking around.
You need to wear those wetsuit booties, mate, when you're entering in.
Can't do it, mate. Can't do it. I'd be laughed out of town.
Your shorts and your wetsuit booties as you're climbing over those rocks. Oh, look at this white fella. He's in his booties.
They wouldn't let me do it. They just wouldn't let me come. The next day I wouldn't be invited.
So what's been the highlight, mate, of your trip so far, whether it's Bali or whether it's Perth? I'm curious because we're heading over that way.
Oh, mate, I'm so excited to share. Exmouth was amazing, absolutely stunning. Esperance was a massive surprise. I didn't remember Esperance being as good as it was. Margaret River's beautiful. There's so many. Janesh, you would love it. I don't know if you've been there, but there's so many little boutique everything. Boutique whiskey, boutique cider, boutique cheeses, boutique. Like you just drive and there's these beautiful farms with beautiful fences and they just welcome you in and you can try all their things, So that was
boutique,
crazy.
Mate? What does that mean, boutique?
I don't know.
Small batch, mate. Small batch. Unique,
I'm just making noises,
batch. Mate. It's like when you go into a knick-knacky shop and it's like you're not going to get, it's not mainstream.
And this is like small batch, and it seems like you like small batch alcohol and small batch food.
I think because there's it's not.
It's
massive,
an artisan,
right?
mate. It's an artisan, right? It's like someone's, if it's like handmade and it's like, and it's like maybe. I think it's a story. Sometimes there's a story behind it. I was going to say sometimes the taste is better, not always. But it's like the story. It's like the person in the store.
And you meet the people, don't you?
Yeah, who made that shirt or made that T-shirt. And like, I will. And it's like when we lived in Maine, there was all in Maine, in the main Portland. It was the main city in Maine there that had all these support local stickers, right? So in downtown Portland, no big name brands were allowed in. Right, there's only one that was, and I don't know how, and it was Starbucks. But the facade of Starbucks in the States is usually green and white. In Portland, Maine, they weren't allowed to have green and white signage all around. It had to match the town. And there was like still their sign, their small little sign, but it had to match everything else. Like no big gaudy signs, and it was everyone did support local. Which was really cool. Really cool. They wouldn't go. There was no fast food in the town of Portland, like in the centre. No McDonald's, no KFC, no Taco Bell, none of that. Which was really really cool.
Morondite's tried to sort of model that sort of strategy too, just not allowing any of the big chains in there, trying to push them out.
We were like that in Mount Eliza, but 2 weeks ago, Domino's arrived.
Once you let him one,
How?
goodbye, little
Weird.
somebody's.
I'm always interested when I go, to somewhere boutique-y. Like we were in South Yarra recently staying, and there's so many cool cafes, like just cool with really different food and, all the Asian places to eat at and just all that going on down there. And I'd walk past Subway and people are sitting having Subway. Like, why would you choose Subway when you could go to the boutique sandwich place next door and have like a real handmade, homemade kind of vibe sandwich? People like the safety, security, predictability.
Of what they know, right? They go, I'm going to guarantee I'm going to get this, my meatball sub or my chicken teriyaki 6-inch, whatever. And they know what it is. They're not going to be, they know either potentially quality or
Price
and too much choice.
Too.
They got to go in and go, I don't know. I don't want to choose. I just know what I want. I'm going to go into this one place. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not necessarily a fan.
I think when you become a little bit more aware, then you do start to make more choices, don't you, in all areas of your life. I literally deliberately now choose to go to the small business because I'm about to start a small business. So it would be like, what? Like it's just a natural choice now. And sometimes you do sacrifice certainty. You are like, oh, I really just want this pizza, but they're like next door to each other, right? There's Domino's and then there's Presto Pizza. I'm like, I have to go to Presto Pizza. And sometimes you get disappointed. Sometimes you get pleasantly surprised. Now I go to Presto Pizza in Warrandyte. It kills it. Mate, there's been, interestingly, funny story. I still haven't worked it out. There's been this really synchronicity, lots of synchronicity. I've got this week where Kat's in Ubud and I kind of promised myself as opposed to spending all my time on the laptop and doing stuff, I'd be out there and just connect and play with the guys and catch up and go out. Bobby's got a bar, so 2 nights of the week, Saturday night and Tuesday nights, he's there running his bar. It's a Ruster bar. I spun fire. Kat and I have been learning. Well, Kat spins fire. I've been learning how to do it. And so I was at the bar having a few drinks and Bobby said, "Oh, you've been spinning fire." I said, "Yeah, I'm learning how to spin fire." He's like, "We have performers. Go perform." I'm like, "No, I'm not performing. I'm not a monkey." He's like, come on, just do one." I ended up doing that all night long.
Any burns?
And yes.
Mate, get your placenta cream. Get your placenta cream, mate. Get it on the burns.
I just remember, in the morning, Dan is a guy I met in Geraldton. He taught me how to make a fire stick. And he said, "Mate, now, whatever you do, whenever you're spinning fire, make sure you use the right stuff. Do not use petrol." Let me hear you say, "I will not use petrol." I'm like, "I will not use petrol." Well, in Indonesia, they don't have this GP 300 that burns at, 0 degrees. All they have is petrol. So Bobby's like, "Come on, get on the stage." And I'm like, "Well, what am I going to spin with?" He's like, "Here's the stick." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, stick? "Where's the GD? Where's the special liquid?" He's like, "Here's petrol." I'm like, "Stop it." It's like the trifecta of bad decisions. And whenever Kat does it, she's in, special clothing that doesn't burn, like wool or something. I'm in polyester, Rip Curl singlet. It was a recipe for disaster. Had a lot of fun. Did catch on fire at one point. I'm spinning and someone's like, "You're on fire." I'm like, "I know I'm on fire. Look at me go." My actual singlet was on fire. And so I'm tapping that out. It was madness.
That sounds very good. Now, I need to go right back to when you first said Bobby's got a Ruster bar.
Ruster.
Yeah.
What is that?
Ruster bar.
Like Rastafarian. Jamaican.
Yeah, Jamaican.
Got it.
Yeah. So they play a lot of like Bob Marley, that kind of style of music, cocktails, fire spinning. What else do they do? Guitar. A lot of people sort of playing that kind of really chilled, more pre-drinking kind of environment really than a big party. But they do a Friday a Saturday night party as well. So there's been like a lot of like go. I'm surfing every morning, twice a day, skating, slacklining, just the gym. I'm meeting all these new friends of Bobby's as well, like kind of getting brought into the fold even closer. And so I'm meeting just so many guys. And then there's crossovers because there's this big network. And so one of the guys that I want to build with, I keep hearing his name. I met a guy in the lobby called Neil, just chatting to him. He's about 65, really nice guy. Told me where to take my washing. I came back and we were chatting and he said, oh, I've heard, after hearing a bit of the story, he said, oh, you should speak to my best mate. I'm like, who's your best mate? He said, Paul Cox. And I'd already heard of Paul Cox from the designer that I'm working with. She uses him for all her buildings. So there's a lot of like the right people are already in the network and I'm kind of meeting them sometimes not through the traditional channels, it's through a friend of a friend. And it's just, I'm so aware in such a small town that how you treat people really is the most important currency because it just comes back to you in ways that you couldn't have even known. Like, if you're mean or short or angry with someone, that comes back too. And so you're just constantly accountable to being your best self because if you're not, then it hurts you because it's such a small place. But it's just amazing. I have this dog. So her name's Tiger Lily. I haven't told you guys the story of the dog, but
you have a dog.
What sort of dog is it?
Oh, it's a beautiful dog. It's a mixer.
When you're gone.
Well, that's it's an Indo dog, so it's a little bit different to how we do dogs in Australia. It's a wild dog that comes and eats and hangs out, and then it just disappears. And then you don't see it. And then it comes back and they kind of... So 3 years ago, Anik and I came here and I was surfing in a beach, which is about 30 kilometers away. And I finished my surf and I was lying down on one of those sun lounges, like fully exhausted, passed out. And this thing nipped me on the hand, but it was like a playful nip. And I looked up and I pushed this little tiny puppy away. And then it jumped over me, ran up and down, and then it lay on top of me trying to bite my face, like really playfully. I'm like, what are you? And it looks like a wolf. It's got this black face and this big shaggy mane around its shoulders, it looks like a mane, and it's white. It's a phenomenal looking puppy. It doesn't look like all the other dogs here. And I went there every single day with Annika. We drive the extra 20, 30 minutes to go and feed it and play with it and hang out with it. At the end of our time when we had to go home, I actually said to the owner, I want to buy the dog. And I was going to see if I could rehome it with Bobby. And the owner said, no, not interested. It's our dog. I said, okay. And I was really sad, but I had to let it go. It had a pretty good life. It lived on the beach. A lot of tourists would go to surf and they'd give them leftover food. But a lot of the Indos don't feed them. Dogs are like... they're a guard dog or they're an alarm. If someone's going to steal something, that's it. No love. So I was really sad for it, but I let it go. And then last trip, on our last couple of days, we were hanging out at Coco's bar. So we'd come back from my land and we're hanging out at Coco's bar. And there's this dog there and I've seen it and it's just, we both acknowledged each other. I'm like, how is that Tiger Lily? I'm pretty sure it's Tiger Lily. She's run straight up and just into my arms and we've had this epic reunion. And I'm processing. I'm like, how is this dog here? Coco tells me that during COVID, the owner had died and the dog was dying on the beach. He'd rescued it and brought it back to his bar and him and the guy next door had been looking after it. And now that's what it calls home. So it just hangs out at the bar. The boys live there. 3 of them live in the house next to the bar and they just feed her. Whenever they have food together, the leftovers go to her. And so I was just loving this dog. Coco's like, dude, she needs a home. If you want her, you can have her. I was like, what? So, yeah, she's going to live with us in next year once we need fences and a basic house and we've got this dog.
Yeah,
but
cool.
I moved into this hotel, which is next door, right? So I could be near her. And she sits on the front of the hotel morning and night waiting for me. I asked the hotel, how much do I have to pay to have the dog inside? They're like, you can have the dog inside. Go for it. People will have their dogs here. She won't come in, though, because she's terrified of
Indoors.
Indonesians being trapped inside. She's really scared.
Because they eat
So I'm
them,
just-
don't they? Don't they eat dog?
Not in Lombok. They just don't like them. It's like religiously, it's actually in their teachings for young people that dogs are bad.
Oh.
And so, yeah, a lot of my friends when they were younger were taught to like hit them and kick them, and my mates have sort of, because of their relationship with expats, have started to realise that that's not cool. That dogs are actually man's best friend, and there's this really, all the surfers treat the dogs really well. They even pat them. Like they're meant, you're not meant to touch dogs in their culture, but they've kind of just broken out of that belief system. They're like, what the fuck? Like, you can see that they're lovely animals. Like, why are we being taught this? But I put a collar on it. So the boys like, put a collar on her because everyone wants this dog. Everyone's coming to play with this dog like 3-4 times a day. You need to sort of let people know that it's owned. So I had this like moment where I was trying to put it on. I couldn't put it on. It didn't feel right. Felt forced. So over 3 days, eventually we got a collar on her. I went to bed, really excited. Yes, the team's coming together. Cat's on board. Bobby's on board.
You have a dog.
I've got my bike. I've got my dog. This is amazing. I go to bed that night, big cuddle with her, see her in the morning, wake up in the morning. She's there and she's in a really weird mood. No collar. The collar's gone. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, shit. Clearly someone out there isn't happy and or they think it's her dog or, I've got some kind of conflict I've got to resolve. I've got to find this person first. Like, they've got my number. So surely...
Oh, because it's on the tag.
The person who's taking the collar has got my number up. So I'm like waiting for the day. I'm like, surely I'm going to get a call from someone pissed off, right? No one calls me. I'm playing pool in a bar and I realize I meet this Aussie guy, legend, really lovely.
And he's got a collar around his neck and it's the same collar.
And it's got your number on it. He's like, oh, you're Matt. You're Matt.
I worked out that he is probably the guy that's taken the collar off because I found out on the grapevine he's been looking after her for 3 years, paying for any medical stuff.
Oh, mate, it's not your
But
yeah, you've come in and scooped it up and he's like, dude, nah.
Fortunately, we played pool for the whole night and got along really well. No mention to the dog. Didn't mention it, but my brain went, oh, I wonder if he's the guy. Had a conversation with him yesterday saying, mate, wondering whether, you know anything about this. And also I found out that you've been looking after the dog for many years. I put myself in your shoes and I was like, imagine if you're looking after a dog and then one day the dog's wearing a collar. I'd be pissed with Matt on it.
Call their dog Matt, and that's a stupid dog.
And so we had a beautiful conversation. He's like, no, I don't know who took the collar off, but I'm happy to look after it. I think he took it. But he's like, I'm happy to look after it in the meantime until you set up your surf camp. I've been looking after her. She doesn't love me. I try to pat her and cuddle her and she won't. So it's really just like I feed her and look after her. I'm getting a puppy in 8 weeks. I'm getting an 8-week-old puppy next week. But I'm happy to look after her until you start your surf camp. And the collar's back on.
Oh, it's back on.
So the next morning I woke up after my game of pool and the collar was back on the dog. I was like, what?
It's definitely him.
Magic.
Yeah, and then watch. He'll just take it off as soon as you leave. In August, there goes the collar. Collar's gone.
Maybe.
The dog's wild again.
It's good. Maybe. What about you, Janesh, mate? You're on holiday next week. You're
mate. No, 2 days. So Friday we fly out. So 2 more days. USA. Friday morning. Yeah.
USA.
So yeah, it should be good. Head over to summer there now and get a bit of Matt's weather. Some warm weather, warm days, and 2 days. So Friday morning we fly out. So yeah, excited.
Where do you go?
We start actually. No, we're not in Maine this time. We fly in and out of Colorado. So for the first week or half a week, we're in the Rockies National Park, which should be awesome. We're there, and then we head to Nebraska to see in-laws and cousins are coming to Colorado Fest, and then we go to Nebraska for a bit, and then we go to Minnesota to see more extended family and cousins.
Muskoka?
No.
Okoboji?
No, Okoboji. They sold the boat, so yeah, both Joe and Karen. So mother-in-law and father-in-law, they just sold the boat. So no Okoboji probably this trip, maybe, but yeah, probably not. And then we head to Vermont out east. So for a good friend's wedding, a good friend and a loyal listener, Tom, the wedding. So best man.
Congratulations.
Best man in the wedding, and then I get to wear a kilt as well. So that's
Tom's Scottish.
Yes. Oh, he's English with some Scottish heritage. I probably butchered that, Tom, but so I'm putting a disclaimer in there.
You're going to be uninvited from the wedding.
Not really. He's not really. He just likes the idea of it. And somewhere, you can get your genetics done, and then all of us are part Icelandic, or we're all part. He's just found there's like 2% somewhere back there. And
I can wear a kilt. I'm allowed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there.
Yeah. Right.
Never wear pants to work again.
I know. But each of the tardens are like linked to family. Like so, I'm wearing the Johnston tartan. So on the kilt, which is
everyone, all the listeners want to know.
Yes.
They want to know.
Tell us more.
Right. You want to know what's under the kilt.
Correct, Amanda.
Yeah. You know what? Like, you're gonna have to wait and see till after the wedding, right?
Wait and see.
Wait and see.
That sounds scary.
Are there going to be pictures? There's the wedding shot, and all the blokes are going to
bit of Braveheart.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. When's the wedding? How long do I have to wait for this magical photo?
Just the end of the month. End of the month. So
I can imagine, right? The kilts are all lifted. They're over your head, and everyone's going, I reckon that's Janesh.
Janesh will probably be the only person they'll know.
Right.
Everyone else will blend into each other.
Yeah,
I'm like, I thought everyone... Tiny, no, long. I was like, I thought everyone was going commando. He's like, no, that was just a joke. I'm like, oh, this is awkward then. This is awkward. The photographer's already taken the photo.
My jaw's hurting from laughing.
So it should be good, but it's that final push. And Matt, you've done this now a couple of times, and Benny, you'll probably come to it too. This final push before you go on holidays, all right? Like, it feels like I've got 2 days, but like today and tomorrow. But I feel like I've got 20 days worth of things I need to do in these 2 days to make it feel good. And the reality is you may or may not get to all those 20 things. And it's like this at times, an unrealistic expectation of like, I need to get all this done. So then when you're there, you actually you switch off, or you don't have to worry about it. When the reality is some of the things you probably don't need to do. Don't need to do at all. So it's
sometimes you just got to set sail, Janesh. As long as you got your passport, your wallet, and for you, your kids and wife.
Yes.
Then you're probably all right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I haven't packed. The girls have packed. So I've done a bit of washing.
You're a last minute packer, aren't you?
I was going to pack last night, and then I got just called out of different things, and I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll pack soon. I'll pack. I'll do bits and pieces packing.
Is anyone house sitting and looking after the dog?
So mum and dad are looking after the dog. And then we've got a few people coming in and out of the house. While we're gone. So no set house sitter, but a few people we've given just sets of keys and gone, look, you can come by whenever you want, type of thing. So, Benny, what were you going to say then?
You were going to say something. Something about leaving, packing. You're like, yeah, you would.
You can, these days, if you haven't got something, particularly where you're going, you can buy it.
Yeah, you can get it there.
And it's cheaper than stressing about trying to get everything packed. I took Michelle away must have been pre-COVID, I think, pre-government pandemic legislation. And it was a surprise. We went away for 4 days, I think it was, or 5 days. She didn't know we were going. And all I did was pack her toothbrush. We just took 2 toothbrushes.
Brilliant.
That's it, right? And I drive her out to the airport blindfolded. We get to the airport, take the blindfold off, and she goes, we're doing like a joy flight. We're doing a joy flight. And then we go through, and she goes, this is all part of the theatre that we go through not the customs, but the security. We're walking down to terminal number 3 or whatever it is, and she goes, this is good. And we were just doing a joy flight. And then we joined the queue to get on the Jetstar flight to the Gold Coast. She goes, what are we doing? Like, what do you think we're doing?
Leaving.
She goes, I got any bags. I haven't got any bags. I haven't got any underpants. I've got any. She said, I know. That's the whole point. And so we got on with 0, nothing. And then out of my pocket I got your toothbrush. And we just landed on the Goldie with 0 bags. And my plan was we were going to go to the op shop and get some bits and pieces to get us through the week, right? And we were going to go buy some underpants, but so
Commando.
Yeah, and
that's not Michelle's plan.
It was expensive at the op shop.
It's expensive at the op shop.
We actually went to Cotton On and just bought some T-shirts and some shorts and stuff at Cotton On, and that was it. And so we lived for 4 or 5 days. I don't know what we spent, a couple of $100 at Cotton On. And
Mate, that's Indo. It's the same. It's almost cheaper to just get on there with a backpack because luggage is can be expensive on these little flights, and you just buy stuff. Buy, and also the washing's expensive, and they just butcher your clothes. So sometimes it's better to just give some money to the local community, get some clothes for while you're here, and then fly home and wash them at home.
I've got to say, and it is bad that we keep consuming things and buying things and, this whole disposable kind of attitude we have to clothing. Bad. But I did buy. I did buy three black T-shirts at Kmart the other day, or Big W. This is not on sale. This is standard T-shirt price. $3.85 a T-shirt. $3.85.
That's insane.
For a cotton
Does it feel like a $3.85 T-shirt? Yeah. Like when you feel
it doesn't feel like merino wool, blah blah blah. It doesn't feel like
Does it feel like single ply?
Is it light? Yeah, single ply. Light.
It does.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of T-shirt that you wear once.
Yeah, you can
wear it for 2 days if you put a bit up.
You just lost us 100 followers in a moment, in a second.
Yeah.
All the environmentally sustainable thinking people have gone, unsubscribe, delete.
But what I want to point out
Go.
is what not to do. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your plan? What's your plan with those 3 T-shirts, Benny? How many times are you going to wear them?
I said to Michelle the other day, because we're going away, and I said, look, I'm going to pack a heap of like black T-shirts. So when I'm coaching, and stuff, I can just put a black T-shirt on. It all looks good. You look sharp. Janesh looks sharp in his black shirt he's got on there today. And I said, I need to buy some of those. She said, you just bought some black T-shirts the other day.
You're like, I've thrown them out.
$3.85.
They're worn out.
She said, just washed them. I said, well, let's see how they come out after the wash. Because $3.85, they're probably.
And how do they look?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They'll be like cream. The black's gone out of them. Back to the original
washed out.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in 7 seconds.
He's going to go get the T-shirt.
But mate, a $3.85 T-shirt is not worth leaving a podcast to go get.
I know, right? It's like, get it. Yeah. It's fascinating. But it is. I think funny. If they could make a $3.85 T-shirt and it was like not your single ply toilet paper, people would keep it. Right?
For sure.
How's it come out?
I mean, I can actually see you through that shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's pretty fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's lightweight. That's the new lightweight.
Did you go down a size?
I did. I went medium, and it's actually a bit big.
They're
made for the standard sized.
Yes, I would say with the single ply t-shirts, I tend to go a little bit tighter because it makes you look better.
Yeah, I do like it to be a little tighter.
Tight on the gun show.
But it is a little bit demasculating when you have to get it like small to do that. I hate that.
Yeah,
It's like let go of.
It's baggy.
Yeah, see, Ego probably said, "Nah, we're not getting a small. We're going to get a medium. We'll fill that out." And then you put it on, and you went, "Damn, should have got the small."
For $3.85.
Go get another.
I just paid someone to wash that and iron it. It probably took 5 minutes to iron it at, X amount an hour.
Did you just throw it across your shoulder?
That'll magically disappear and be washed. And
the washing cost more than the t-shirt.
Yes, yeah. Now, speaking of clothing, the other thing I want to point out is, see my hat. It looks groovy. I look hardcore. I look rugged. I look American bush.
yeah, like you might have an AK-47 on your back, ready to go
Well,
kill some deer with a semi-automatic weapon.
funny you say that because
Right. We're dropping followers, right?
What's now?
We're dropping followers
my
left, right,
God.
and centre, right?
We're on the US fucking blacklist now, right now. You're a white extremist or
Listen, I'm talking
something. I don't know.
Oh, it's only plastic.
Talking about gun rights. There was no red muzzle on that one.
So I look
hats.
cool and groovy. But now, Matty, tell me about why that flat, why don't you?
Oh, the flat cap, the curve,
Yeah.
good question. I used to curve, Ben. I always did the curve, sporty hat. And then I started surfing and skating. It's all about flat. Flat.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just, why is style? That's just the way it is. Flat. And you can wear it sideways. You definitely don't round it in a surf culture. That's like frowned upon. I do like the colour of it.
You still got your sticker on?
My sticker?
No sticker. Thank God for that.
No. Oh, underneath? I don't understand that. That goes over my head. That's like, I think, a whole generation younger than me. Yeah. Why would you leave the sticker on? I don't know.
The price tag sticker.
Yeah, I don't get that.
What about this?
But
What about this look?
Yeah, you can pull that off.
Yeah.
We do that. So we do that exact same look when we're riding our scooters. Because
So your hat
if you
doesn't fall
don't,
off.
you lose your hat and then you have to do the
on you with your hat
U-turn.
the other way.
Well, I can't because I have my hair in a thing.
Oh, your man bun.
So, yeah.
So,
I'd have to let my hair down.
what about you, Janesh? Are you a flat?
Nah, I'm a curved. I like my hats. According to my wife, I have too many hats. But they're all
You're
for different.
runners.
But they're different.
Runners do that.
But I like different things, right? So you have like your yard work hat, ones that can get dirty and whatever, and then you get ones that look, this one looks a little bit nicer, and you get ones that you can run in, and then you get ones that sometimes fucking don't fit well. And you're like, that was a waste. You get online. The worst is you get online. You go, that looks good. I like the design. You get it, and then they're like either too deep or something. They sit too high, or you got to put it on, and like I got to tuck my ears under it, and I'm like, this sucks. So I like a good hat. I always will stop at a store and go, that's a good hat.
Never like hats.
True. These hats
Never.
all look the same, but they're all different.
They're all
fits.
different. And they all say one size, but they're not all one size. They fit. There's different fits, and they
Depth. It's the depth, isn't it?
It is.
Some are shallow and then they don't fit your head.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Yeah. I like the shallower as opposed to the too deep, because then otherwise you have this pocket of air that just sits there, and you look like, no, this is no, and you can't pull it down because it's too far. And first of all, problems with hats.
Never really been into the hat, like not into the hats. And then I got this free hat from Evolve. Thanks, Evolve.
Great sponsor.
Yeah. But I noticed that I'm getting in that age where, and I'm a surfer, where you get a lot of wrinkles because you got a lot of sun exposure. And I was looking around and I noticed, I did a little bit of market research. All of my friends who look young, who are older than me, they wear hats and they moisturize And so
You started.
I've started wearing a hat. No, I haven't started moisturising yet, but I do wear a hat. And particularly here, it makes sense. It's 31 degrees every day. If you don't wear a hat, you're getting baked.
Yeah.
So
ears though, back of your neck, you know. Like,
ears and neck get protected by the hair pretty much. And I do wear sunscreen on the shoulders, and I wear shirt. Like I'll surf in a t-shirt because it's too hot. You're out there for 2 hours. Sunscreen doesn't last 2 hours. You just get burnt.
Speaking of wrinkles, we're doing around the Australia thing. We're taking 10, 12 weeks to go around Australia. And I said to Michelle last night, I said, you know what we could do? If we get as far as Darwin, zip across to Bali, get a little bit of work done.
Come back.
Stay in Bali for the month, let the healing happen, fly back Darwin, pick up the no one, just keep going.
Like no one would know.
People would go, gee, that trip's been good for you. All the stuff.
Everyone starts selling their houses to buy vans in the Kickstarter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it? You going to come to Bali?
I was going to. My question was going to be, what work would you get done?
Yeah. So Melbourne, Adelaide to Darwin, and so Adelaide to Darwin. Let's say Melbourne to Darwin. We're thinking, week and a half.
6.
Yeah.
And then
this is the casual 45,000 kilometers. I mean, 4,500 kilometers or something. 6,000, 8,000 maybe.
I actually have no idea.
Have you booked anything? We had this conversation last time.
No.
Didn't you learn from Matt?
I've got a big shopping list of things that I need to buy to make the camper trailer Uber.
No. But did you book places? You know how Matt was like, you probably should book, and he's one of those things you're gonna hear multiple times, and you're like, nah.
We can't.
I'm
Western Australia.
okay,
Western Australia, above Geraldton, you need to book, but below you're okay. South Australia is free. I don't know about Central. Broom's fine. Go north of Broome.
That's the point, right? We're going to get to Darwin, and if it's just all hard,
go to Bali.
All hard, we're going to go to Bali or Thailand. I'd love to do another couple of weeks in Thailand. What I'd love to do, I said to Michelle last night, we don't do the facelift thing. Instead, we could go and do. I'd love to do a month of boot camp. Like Biggest Loser. When you see them and they eat every day and they eat, super clean. And, I'd love to do that. Not one of those, woo-woo ones where, get up when you feel like it, go for a walk in the forest, come back and we'll do some yoga, then we'll have some fruit. No, I want one of those ones where they get you up at 6.
Yang, classic.
Hardcore boot camp. Come back, an hour of stretching where you get some big dude and he's got your legs and he's, and then you eat breakfast and it's the breakfast.
Which is
just super, just
6 different types of animal.
Fruit.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. The full animal spectrum. And then it's weight session and then, a massage with one of those big Russian women that, chopping you, slapping you with branches. One of those, and just a whole month of that.
What did Michelle think about that?
She said that'd be terrible.
She's gonna be in the jungle doing yoga, stretching.
When she wants to.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm on holiday. I don't want to be waked up. You go, do you?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So, mate, I've just plugged it in for you. It's going to take you 1 day and 15 hours to do that. Not a week. And it's 3,740 kilometres.
Mate, he's going to take his time. He's going to stop every 20 minutes. He's going to stop for every 20 minutes between here and Adelaide.
He's not, because when he puts it into Google Maps, he's going to know what he has to beat. He's got to get there before it says it's possible, which means he has to do it in 1 day and 14 hours and 49 minutes.
But you can get Melbourne to Adelaide in 1 day. I've done Melbourne to Adelaide in 1 day.
Oh, yeah, Melbourne to Adelaide.
Yeah.
But do you say Adelaide is 3,000 k's?
No, Adelaide is maybe 1,000. Oh, not even.
You're talking Darwin.
No, this is 3,740 from Melbourne to Darwin.
Yeah.
Melbourne to Darwin, you would want to take your time. It's a long trip.
Well,
you would.
Yeah, well, there's lots to see. You know, lots of places to stop over.
Did you get your heater upgrade done?
On this weekend, I put it in the calendar and did a calendar invite to my brother. He hasn't seen that yet.
So you're gonna do? You guys gonna do it yourself?
Yes, yeah, it's a DIY job.
Mate, didn't you say we were talking about this last time when we were in Lawn? You're like, nah, I'm gonna get someone to do it. And then you were like, oh, it's easy. I'm like, I'm just gonna get someone to do it. But now you're gonna do it yourself. So this is this weekend. Is this gonna be another electric brake situation, my friend? Is this?
Yeah.
Time will tell. Ben won't tell. Time will, though.
So those listeners, I'm going to enlighten the listeners on the electric brake situation, right? So we all buy campers around the similar time. We're about to get electric brakes put on, right? And Ben's like, oh, I'm getting the red arc put in, and he calls me and he goes, mate, tell me how you put this in. And I'm like, oh, did you get the wiring harness and all of this? He's like, no. Mate, the Rangy, it's just plug and play. I'm like, I don't think it is. He goes, no, it will be. And it was like at 7 o'clock. He calls me, he goes, mate, an hour we're going to be done. And I just put mine in the day before, and I probably took, I reckon, close to 4 or 5 hours on it. I go, oh, I don't know. I go, mate, you miss it. And he was like, it was too late. He couldn't buy anything. He couldn't go to stores, right? And they call him at 8 o'clock. And he's like, it's one little plug. Maybe we unwire it. And then I go, so you're not done? He goes, no. We've still got 20 minutes on the clock. Call him at 8:30. No answer. And I get a reply. I'll look up the text. It was like, fucker or something like that. And then I'm like, so how'd you go? Is it done? And tell the listeners, Ben, at that point. I'm not going to go any further. I need you to fill in what happened next.
Well, Jim and I had all the dash out because I was sure it was just going to be able to plug in. And we're in the dark. It's cold. We're out on his front thing. And Michelle didn't know because it was all a surprise. So I'm doing this all under, so time was of the essence because I meant to be in Frankston shopping.
To her car too.
Yeah, to her car.
This is her car.
And anyway, so it was there was lots of pressure around that. And then we got all the dash and we just could not get this sucker to fit. And it was 10:30 now. Shops are well and truly closed. I've messaged her in the meantime saying, oh, I'm just going to go and catch up with my brother after shopping, having a cup of tea with Jim. And then, at 10:30 I go. And I got to pick up the trailer the next day. So at 10:30 I start texting mates, mate, can I borrow your car? Because I know that they've got a caravan, so their cars would have had this electric brakes. Anyway, no one responds, and I get home and I'm about to climb into bed, and there's this bing from my good mate Ash saying, yep, mate, what do you need? So then I have to get out of bed, and Michelle goes, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just making a phone call at 11 o'clock at night. And so Ash very kindly lent me his car. So
and you did you end up getting a professional to fit that, or did you go get the parts and do it yourself? What happened there?
So I did actually get a professional, and the professional auto elec took 9 hours to get, because he had to remove, spare wheels, pull seats out. It was a bigger job than anyone.
So that plug and play, because it's a Rangy, became it's a Rangy, so it takes an auto elec, a trained professional.
Became plug and pay.
Plug and pay. Oh, mate.
Well, on that note, boys, what do you reckon is the take home for today for our listeners? Here is the take home for our listeners. It is Janesh.
Oh, mate, I was hoping I'll be on there last night. I would say the current takeaway is...
Whatever you say will stimulate something.
I know. I'm just trying to think of I'm trying to wrap up what we talked about. There
was a lot of catching. There was a lot of catching up.
Yeah. Go, Benny.
Here's my take home is that it'll all work out, that there's always a way. And if push comes to shove, there's always Big W, $3.85 T-shirts.
Oh, God. Don't let that be the takeaway.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah, it always will work out. And I heard this a while ago from a good friend that it's always good in the end. And if it's not good, it's just not the end.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that one. Maddie?
Yeah, I'm liking this vibe. Sometimes you just got to breathe and let go. Some of those things that you're stressing about, all the to-do lists, the things that I haven't done, they're getting in the way of the reason why, or the thing that you're going to do, which is really you're leaving to seek peace, to have a break from all that overthinking. Yeah, and it's that addiction to certainty. But actually, if you're certain all the time, you're bored. So allow yourself to be a bit uncertain and move into the unknown, and know that there's a $3.85 T-shirt if you need it. And it's all going to be all right.
And we wanted to, as we wrap up, just thank Big W for their sponsorship of the show.
Yes.
Today.
But didn't you say
And Evolve.
and Kmart?
Boards.
And Kmart, North Face, all
North
that. We're
Face.
happy to get your free stuff, please. And thank you.
Janesh and Ben will wear North Face. I'd prefer the flat cap Evolve. Thank you very much.
All righty, everyone. Till next time. Thanks for listening to another episode of Lifelong Learner. If you like this episode and want to know more and hear other episodes, head over to lifelonglearnerpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll be the first to know when new podcast episodes are coming out. And if you want to say hello, tell us a joke, or ask us a question, send us an email at hello@lifelonglearnerpodcast.com. Thanks again.